I can't get up. Anyway, so today I am changing the oil in my old truck. How's this crazy thing work? Okay, so I've got my oil plug out of the oil pan out, and it's draining. I got my oil filter off, and it's draining. So, so far, I pulled my oil cap off the engine off. That way, get some airflow, and that'll help drain it also. So, I went to O'Reilly's today. They had a special on 5 quarts of oil and an oil filter for $23.99. So I stopped in there and got that. And so anyway, I know a lot of people probably don't know this, just because you always take your vehicle out and get it serviced, get the oil changed in it. But if you're doing it yourself, and you have to do it yourself, your oil filter has this rubber gasket on it, and that's what seals it to the engine block. And to get a good seal, like I said, a lot of people don't know this, but you just take a little drop of your old oil on your finger and rub it on that seal, and that will create a kind of like a vapor lock around your gasket and your engine block. So you always want to make sure you do that before you put your new filter back on. All right, I'm gonna put this new filter on and put the oil plug back in, and then I'll start filling it back up with new oil. I just put my oil filter in, and I'm gonna put my oil pan plug back in, and what I like to do is I like to wipe it off, get some of the old oil off of it and any debris that might have gotten on it when I took it off. And when you're putting this back in, make sure you don't cross thread it, because if you cross thread it, that means you got to buy a whole new oil pan and everything, and that is not fun. That's not cheap. And you want to make sure that's good and tight. Okay. And wiggle your way back out. Make sure you have one of these drip pans. That way you don't get oil all over your concrete, which would have been real easy to do. And I'll take my old oil and have it recycled, take it to Walmart or Walgreens, or I mean not Walgreens, but O'Reilly's or someplace like that, and they'll recycle it for you. So, all right, next step is just to add the new oil. Yeah, they'll recycle it for you for free. All right, like I said, it's time for new oil. So you want to make sure on a lot of the vehicles on your oil cap, it'll tell you what kind of oil you need. This one's 5W20. Make sure you get the same kind of oil that goes in your vehicle. So also, let's see if I can get this off here. All right. Also, you want to make sure you use a funnel. That way you don't splash oil all over your engine. And carefully pour it. I'm going to, after I pour all this in there, I'm going to let it drain for a few minutes. You know, when I say drain, I mean drain all the way to the bottom of the engine, down to the oil pan. And I'll let it do that for a few minutes, and then I'll check it with the dipstick and make sure I don't need to add any more. That's all there is to it. And while you're at it, while you're letting that oil drain all the way through the motor, you can go ahead and check all your other fluids, like your radiator, your brake fluid, windshield wiper fluid. You can go ahead and do all those things. I'm going to go ahead and do all that now. This here is just a radiator overflow. I just want to make sure there wasn't nothing in there. Always make sure you open your radiator cap slowly, just in case it's under pressure. If you do it fast, it can pop off and spew hot fluids all over you. Anyway, it looks like my radiator fluid's just a little low. I can't see it and I can't feel it, so I might need to put some antifreeze in there. It's best to use the antifreeze. It'll keep your engine cool. You can use water, it won't hurt it any, but especially like when it comes around winter time, you really want antifreeze in it so your engine doesn't freeze up. And plus antifreeze will help the engine stay cool too. All right, so I got this Peak antifreeze. It's 50-50. 50-50 just means it's 50% diluted with probably water or something. I'm not real sure what all is in it, but I know it's 50% antifreeze, 50% probably water. So anyway, what I'm gonna do is just add some in here until I can see it. And it's gonna bubble up and everything. That's just getting all the air out of your radiator. All right, there we go. Now you can see it. That's all you need. You don't want it to go, you don't want to fill it all the way up to the very, very top, because you see this hose here on the back side. That's a overflow hose that goes to your overflow tank. So you don't want to go above that hose there. You want to just keep it below that. Make sure your cap's on good and tight. Turn it until it stops. Okay. All right. Brake fluid looks good. That's where it needs to be. It's about right there. Okay, your full line is where it says max, and it's just under or right at the bottom of the words max. But it could probably use just a little bit more. But let me go see if I can find some brake fluid. Be right back. All right, got this AutoZone brake fluid. Nothing special. You don't have to buy the expensive stuff. It's all the same. I'm just gonna fill it up till it gets to that max mark. Right about there. That looks good. It didn't take a whole lot. All right, put the cap back on. Make sure you put it on good and tight. Don't cross thread it. Okay. All right, I think it's time to check the oil. Probably had enough time to drain all the way down by now. Anyway, what you do, you take your dipstick all the way out and clean the whole thing the first time. Okay? Stick it back in. Let it sit for just a second or two. Make sure it gets all the oil on there. Then you pull it back out, and this is when you're going to check it. All right. It's all the way up to here, so that's in between. All right, you got two lines. You got a line there and a line here. So it's in between those two lines, so this is good. So if you see, you got your add mark, which is below this line, and I was in between these two lines, so we are good. Now if I wanted to fill it all the way up to this other line, I could add another quart to it. So I think I might go ahead and do that anyway, just to make sure I got plenty in there. All right, let me go find another quart of oil. I'll be right back. Okay, so I wanted to show, anyway, sorry. I wanted to show, a lot of people don't know this either, but you have to check the water in your battery. So what you do, there's a little plate here over top of, on the top of your battery. Anyway, you pop it up, and there's holes in your battery here. So what the water you're doing is checking, the water will help the acid in your battery, keep your battery to last longer, and helps keep a good charge on your battery. So as looking, all these are just a little bit low. They're about that low, so I'm going to go ahead and top them all off with water. When I say top off, I mean fill them all the way up. So I just got just a regular gallon jug of water, tap water. I'm just going to fill those holes up. I know it's kind of hard to see. All right. Anyway, you just put your top right back on it. And that excess water right there is not going to hurt anything. Pop it back into place. Be careful, sometimes that water will splash on you. But so anytime you change your oil, you're supposed to change your oil, every 3 months or 3,000 miles. So anytime you do that, make sure you check all your fluids at that time, or anytime that you're getting ready to go on a road trip, make sure you check all your fluids, because you don't want any kind of breakdown, auto breakdown on the side of the road. You don't want to be on the side of the road your whole trip. So just make sure you check all your fluids, make sure everything looks good, make sure there's nothing leaking. That's something else I gotta do. Since I changed my oil, I want to crank the truck up, let it run for a little bit, and make sure there's nothing leaking underneath that I replaced, like the oil filter and the oil plug. So I'll be doing that here just a little bit. So it's not a whole lot of work, it's not hard work, but it does take just a little bit of time, and you want to make sure your vehicle is running in its best condition. To take this to Walmart and have it recycled, the old oil. So what I'm going to do is just pour the oil back into the jug that I had, where the new oil came from, so I can keep my oil collector. And you want to use a funnel, that way you don't spill it everywhere. See how dark that oil is? It really needs to be changed badly. Your oil is supposed to be kind of a, I don't don't know what color it is. Since I'm colorblind, I don't know what color it is. So, but it's supposed to be, you know, clear, not like clear, see-through water clear, but it's not supposed to be dark like that. Okay, the one thing that I didn't check, I forgot about it, was the transmission fluid. So you got your engine oil dipstick, and then you got your transmission dipstick. Again, you're gonna do it the same way you do your oil. Take it all the way down, wipe it off, stick it in. Let it set for a minute, and bring it back out. So this was all the way up to the max mark. So this is good. Actually, it says hot. So yeah, this is good. So you want to make sure you check your transmission fluid on a regular basis, because on these Rams, they are known to have transmission problems. So you want to make sure. I want to check it one more time just for good measure. So you want to make sure you keep an eye on your transmission fluid. Okay, if you did check it and your transmission fluid was low, you would add your transmission fluid in where your dipstick goes. With the funnel. So anyway, what I'm doing now is I just spilled some oil a little bit, and I'm just kind of cleaning it off because I don't want to put all this back in the garage with oil all over it. There you go. Awesome. It does take 6 quarts of oil, and so I had to run out and get me some more oil, and by the time I got there, got the oil, got back, it got dark on me. Go figure, huh? So anyway, I'm putting in the last quart of oil. I hate they put these new safety tops on here. All right, let's get that poured in. We'll let that drain and settle at the bottom of the engine into the oil pan, and then we'll check it here in just a few minutes. We can go ahead and take off the funnel now. And make sure you put your oil cap back on, because if you don't and you start your engine, your oil is going to spew out of the top of the oil cap. So that's another helpful tip. All right, we're going to give it a check here real quick. Again, pull your dipstick all the way out and wipe it all the way off. And then we're going to stick it back in. there. And we are all the way at the top of the mark right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. All right, there's the mark. We'll wipe that off. Move it right there. Yep, so we're good. Okay, the reason why my hood kept falling down my head, my little shocks here that hold the hood up, they're getting weak. So it's not really, I need to replace those because, like I said, when they get weak, they let your hood fall. They won't support the hood. So. All right, bye y'all.